Why are Pokemon games so easy? That is something I hear a lot in the Pokemon community, especially from the old heads. And with things like EXP share and EXP candies, I kind of get it. But a lot of people have a simple answer to this question. It's because Pokemon is a kid's game. And to some degree, that is totally correct, except for Gen 1, which was all about stealing Pokemon, whipping them into submission, and of course, gambling, baby! Now, with that said, simply stating Pokemon is easy because it's a kid's game is a weak argument, because games like Zelda and Mario, which are obviously geared towards kids, are way more challenging than the average Pokemon game. We can also look within the Pokemon franchise itself and pull titles like Black and White 2, Ultra Sun and Moon, and Legends of Arceus, which aren't exactly walks in the park. So what gives? Why are Pokemon games, specifically the newest generations, relatively easy? Well, it comes down to two things. The first is that we're just not as dumb as we once were. We actually understand type advantages and game mechanics compared to before, where we would just pick the coolest sounding moves and hope for the best. And when we inevitably got wiped by Whitney and her damn Miltank, we'd spend 2 hours overleveling our Pokemon to barely squeak out a win. But the second, more objective point is that Pokemon has simply shifted the difficulty away from the main campaign and more towards post-game content. So rather than having a more grindy experience, Pokemon said screw it, let's let the people freely choose which Pokemon they want, when they want, and make it super easy for them to level up. And sure, I, like many of you, am not a fan of that, but it does allow kids to enjoy the game while focusing more on the world and story, and lets the sweats still do things like competitive, terror raids, and completionist achievements. However, I will say that because of this change, Pokemon definitely needs to add difficulty sliders and even Nuzlocke options, because I ain't wanting to play a baby game.